Hello everybody and welcome back. In this video we'll begin the official process of adding UI elements to our users page. So with that said, let's get into it and let's see how we can do it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is that I'll make sure that I open the users_page.dart file, which we had created in the previous modules. And with that file open, I'm going to firstly tackle the issue of importing all of the necessary things that we require. So we had already imported the packages that we required in previous videos, but what I'm going to do is that I'm going to import the provider file that we require, and specifically our authentication provider. I'm also going to import the widgets that we are going to require, and the widgets in this case are going to be .. and then widgets and then top bar, because we do need a top bar. Then with this, I'm also going to import the widgets, which are going to give us access to our custom input fields. I'm also going to import the widgets file, which is going to allow me to use the classes for custom list view tiles. And finally, I'll import the widget file, which is going to be responsible for giving me the access to rounded buttons that we had created ourselves. So that's going to be the rounded button.dart file. Once the widget files have been imported, I'm going to import the models as well. And the specific model that I'm going to import is going to be our chat user models. So it's going to be .. models / and then from there, I'm going to get the chat user. And finally, I'm going to require another provider, which is going to be our pages provider when we create a provider for this page, so that we can link up the business logic to this page, but we'll import that later on once we actually create it. With this done, what I'm going to do is that I am going to now move onwards to my users page state class, because our users page class has been created the appropriate way. So inside of our users page class, so inside of our users page state class, I'm going to be doing some things. The first thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to say that our users page state class is going to have some properties. What properties? Well, the first property that we require, like many of our pages, is going to be accessing the device's height. So for that, I'll create a laid double device width, and I'll create a laid double device width, so height and width. With this done, the next thing I'll do is that I'll create a variable which is going to store a reference to our authentication provider. And with this, I'm also going to create a text editing controller, which is going to be linked to the search field that we're going to have inside of our page. So I'll do a final, and then I'll call it a text editing controller. And then I'll say it's going to be our search field text editing controller. And once I have done that, I'm going to set that equal to a new instance of our text editing controller and add a semicolon. And that's pretty much all we had to do. With this done, the next thing that I'll do is that I'll go to my build method, and inside of my build method, I'll access the required properties that I need. So firstly, I'll take the device's height, and I'll set that equal to the call that we do to media query, which is media query.off. And from there, we send the context to it. And once we have the off call done, we do size.and_height. And with this, I'll also do the same thing for devices width. And this time what I'm going to do is that I'll set it equal to, instead of our media query, size height, size width. With the height and width defined, we can also get access to our authentication provider. And I'll do that by doing provider.off. And then I'm going to say that it's going to be authentication provider and then context. So now we have access to our authentication provider. The next thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to go to my build UI function, and I'm going to be adding some stuff here. So the first thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to remove returning a scaffold, and I'm going to make it return a container instead. Then what I'm going to do is that I'm going to define some properties for our container. The first is going to be the padding, and the padding I'm going to copy and paste this time, because we've been doing that for a long time of just adding the same thing, which is agentsets.symmetric. And then for the actual vertical padding, we have device height times 0.02. And for the horizontal, we have device width times 0.03. With the padding done, the next thing I'm going to do is that I'll define the height and the width. And these are going to be also very similar to what we've been doing before, where we have the height set to the device's height times 0.98 and the width set to the device's width times 0.97. With this, I'll do command save, and you'll see that the green background is now removed, and we have this default scaffold color that we've adjusted in the actual theme for our main application. With this, I'm ready to actually define the child for my container. So the child is going to be a column similar to what we did for our chats page. And inside of my column, I'll define some of the main properties first. So that's going to be our main axis size, our main axis alignment, and our cross-axis alignment. So similarly, for main axis size, it's main axis size max. For main axis alignment, it's main axis alignment dot star. And then finally, for the cross-axis alignment, it's not children, sorry, it's cross-axis alignment. It's cross-axis alignment, and from there I'll select center. Finally, I'll define the children, and for the children, the first thing that we're going to have is going to be our top bar. Since we had already created this widget in the previous modules, we are going to add the top bar widget, and then it expects us to give it a bar title. The bar title is going to be this time called users. I'm going to add a comma and a comma here and do Alt-Shift-F command save, and we should see that the users title now shows up. With this, I also want to, similar to our chat page, use the logout button as well. So for that, what I'll do is that I'll define a primary action property for my top bar, and the primary action is going to be an icon button, and then it's going to have an onPressed attribute, which I'm going to remove for now. And the first thing that I'm going to do is that I'll define the icon property, which is going to be icon object, and then it's going to have icons dot, and I'll say logout as the icon. And then finally, the last thing that I'll do is that I'll define the color for this icon, and I'll say that it'll be colors dot or color dot from, and then red, green, blue, and opacity, and then it'll be 0, 82, 218, and then 1.0, and do Alt-Shift-F, and that's pretty much all we had to do. Final thing, I'm going to add the onPressed call to this icon button, and I'll set that to be an empty function for now and do command save, and now we have the top bar displaying properly. So with this done, what I'm going to do is that I'll end this video here, and I'll see you guys in the next video where we'll actually implement the actual search field at the bottom of our top bar. So thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.